Jellyfish. I was coming home late from work when I heard the voice. It seemed to be coming from everywhere, but other passers-by didn't seem to hear it. It was singing, very beautiful, something I'd never heard before. I know it sounds logical, a woman's voice, or rather, a young girl's voice. I started to turn my head when I saw her. She was sitting on the steps of an old house, covering her face with her palms, and singing. I couldn't resist and walked over to her. She took her hands away, and looked me straight in the eyes. My God, she is so beautiful, it's unbelievable. The singing stopped, and there was absolute silence, even the birds were silent. But I paid no attention to it, for I was simply fascinated by this miracle. The girl got up, looked at me again, and turned around and went into the house. I hesitated. No one had lived here for years, and to be honest, I was a little scared to go in there. But her voice was still in my head, so I made up my mind. The door opened with a creak, and I found myself in a dark hallway. The light bulb on the ceiling was long broken, the floor was covered with a decayed carpet, and the walls had long since peeled off. The corridor was empty, but at the end of it was a door. When I opened it, there was a staircase leading to what appeared to be the basement. I had no desire to go down, but then I heard the singing again, and it instantly drove all thoughts away from me, and I immediately began to descend down, without even noticing that the door had closed, and a moment later disappeared altogether. The stairs ended. Instead of the basement, I found myself in a huge cave, divided in half by a stream, over which a wooden bridge had been thrown. Interesting, very interesting. The singing came from the other side. I climbed up the bridge and was already in the middle of it when the water suddenly rumbled. A scaly head with closely set red eyes appeared on the surface. And then the wearer of those eyes came out onto the bridge, blocking the way further. It resembled some sort of ugly jellyfish with a matching transparent body and lots of tentacles. But the worst part was that inside this monster I saw the very same girl. And shit, she was singing. Her eyes were open and she was singing. Shit, I thought I was dreaming, that I was dreaming this nightmare. But the creature was absolutely real, and I could not retreat. All that was behind me suddenly disappeared, dissolved into the darkness. The jellyfish kept coming. I had no other choice, so I jumped off the bridge and swam to the other side. I swam as fast as I'd never swam before, feeling the creature approaching, continuing to chant. But I was already cured of it. The survival instinct was stronger. A few more strokes and I made it to shore. The creature caught my leg with its tentacle, and the place immediately burned with terrible pain. I screamed and immediately ran toward the spot of light at the end of the cave. The pain got worse and worse. When I reached the exit, I collapsed without feeling. I woke up to the sound of someone putting a cold compress on my leg. I opened my eyes and sighed with relief when I saw the smiling face of my wife. Seeing that I was awake, she turned and left for the kitchen, saying she would take another bandage. I got up. And then it dawned on me that something was wrong. But what? Suddenly I realized her eyes, they were red. My God, really? I didn't have time to do anything. She came into the room. Her eyes were just red, and her arms were tentacles sticking out. You bastard! I screamed and rushed to the window. 4th floor. What are the chances of survival? I turned around. The monster approached me and inconceivably got up on its hind legs. The girl inside opened her eyes and smiled. Damn, how wild it is to have a smiling face staring at you through a jelly body. I felt rage. Not only was this jellyfish stalking me, but she killed my wife? Fuck you. I threw myself on the creature and wrapped my arms around it, which flared up in pain, and then threw myself out the window with it. I was lucky enough to land right on top of the jellyfish, which cushioned my fall. The creature's body burst as it fell, and a thick, translucent liquid splattered around it. The girl lay motionless. Her red eyes still glowed, but she was hardly alive. In the meantime, passers-by began to gather around her. I could hear the clicks of cameras and shouts of astonishment. I got to my feet. Apparently, I had a broken arm and a dislocated leg, plus a lot of bruises. I got off easy. After a while I heard the police siren, but I didn't care anymore. The crowd was watching the former jellyfish, and no one was bothering me. Finally, the feeling of victory came. I went home, holding my broken arm and wrenching my leg.